Hello, this is Mary Lou Foster. Hope you're having a really great day. I am an independent demonstrator in Sulphur Springs, Texas, and I've got a really cute card to show you today. I always say that because they're each very cute. But what makes this one even cuter is this stamp set can be yours for free with your $60 minimum order during what we call Sale-a-bration, stamping up every year. January and February celebrates. They call it Sale, S-A-L-E, abration. And they offer rewards for your orders. So this year, with your $60 order, you get to choose free items. And they added new ones yesterday. Lots of cute new ones yesterday. So I will share the link to that instead of trying to explain to you what all is free so you can look. There are a couple of items that are free with your $120 purchase. So you'll want to take a look at both levels to determine which one you'd rather have. But this one, if you live in Texas and if you live along the coast, anywhere along the coast where there is salt water or an ocean or a sea, not so much lakes, there are seagulls. And I'm sure if you've spent much time, excuse me, you have seagull stories because they can be a little up in your business and they can steal your food, your French fries, fly right over your head. And they're kind of large birds and they're very loud and squawky. So what I think is fun about this card, these two seagulls are sitting out on top of the piers that sometimes stick up out of the water. There's no deck associated with these, and they're squawking, hey friend, hey friend. And the inside of my card, I don't have a sentiment on, but if you'll notice, there's a pesky little seagull stealing French fries. You can write your own note. This could be a happy birthday card, thinking of you, just stopping by to say I love you or whatever. It's fun. It's just fun. It's on Coastal Cabana, which is to me a coastal color. And this design in the basic white layer, I had to use my So Swirly embossing folder to give it the movement that looks like water, the wind blowing, reminiscent of being down around the beach because it's usually windy. There is another option on that folder if soft waves, I believe it is. I don't think I've got that one yet. So let me show you how to make this card. For this card, there's a little bit of coloring. You do have to stamp and color and then hand cut your little seagulls for the front of the card. I'll show you what colors I used. Die cutting, and I didn't write myself notes. The dies, I used 3 different sizes, as you can see. The layer, country garden layering dies or corner dies. Ugh, I didn't look it up to be able to tell you. But we get to tear paper. No. I've got a cat that may jump. No, down. She's like, okay, if you say. You get to tear paper. That makes it look like ocean movement. We're going to do some heat embossing, paper piecing. So this one it's not hard. There's just lots of layers to it. For my card today, I'm not going to take just a whole lot of time doing all the stuff for you. So you could do this one of 2 ways. And I think this time I'm going to go ahead and color my little bit of sand with the light crumb cake. I'm going to use a Stampin' Blend. You could use your marker. I'm going to lay the brush in on the side just to swipe some color for the sand. And this poor marker, I had a class and it has almost reached the end of its useful life. As you can see, it's not marking very well. But I'm going to make it work for this. Sand isn't really solid anyway. You know, it has a lot of texture, especially beach sand, that the waves brush over and layer it I'm going to call that pretty good. And I'll stamp my little pesky seagull that is stealing French fries. I thought it would be fun to use all three of the seagulls that were included in this stamp set. And it included the fries. I've seen some cute Valentine cards made with this set. I love you more than fries. Or chips, because I know in some parts of the country, fries are called chips. Using Memento Black ink. It only used the one color of ink. And let's go ahead and put this on the inside just to... All right. If it breaks off, not quite at the tip. And what I've learned is don't press too hard when you're using our Stampin' Seal. For some reason, harder is not better with it, and it will not advance if you're smashing it very hard. A gentle touch is your best bet. Oh, I got some black on there, but you know what? That doesn't matter because there are some seagulls right here that I can use to cover that up. Oh, I must have black ink on my fingers. Well, that's not going to be good. I've already done the embossing. And I'm going to use some liquid glue. Let me get my my Tombow, the green glue. And the reason I chose to use glue, the embossing, as you can see, there's ups and downs. It's not a flat surface. And sometimes trying to use the tape runners, you end up only getting sticky on the part that it comes in contact with the paper, and it doesn't want to stick for very well. And I'm going to just center it. That cat that I thought was going to get up on my desk is now in the chair behind me. And I'm going to rub it to help smush that glue. Smush is a technical term. And I'm going to go ahead and also use the liquid glue on the back of this label. Don't get that glue too close to the edges. I'm trying to get used to using the liquid glue because it does hold better and longer, and you have just a little bit of time while it's still damp to reposition your papers. Sometimes when you're using the tape runner, if you stick it in the wrong place and try to peel it up, you tear the paper underneath it, and it's kind of disappointing when that happens. So to save a little bit of time, I have started working on this little front panel. I had originally had a bigger piece of Pool Party. See how well it coordinates with the Coastal Cabana? And I just tore it. And I kind of try to build my scene based on where these seagulls need to land, because you don't want them up off the top of the card. I'm going to trim this off. The end of it's going to go in the dirt. I think that looks like dirt. And see, that puts that seagull at a good height. And so when I layered these, after I tore them, I just kind of layered them in a way that I thought was going to be a nice height, about halfway up I stuck them on, I turned it over, and I trimmed it to shape the shape of the label. Then you're not trying to line everything up because you are customizing it as you go. Because if you ran that through the die cutting machine in an attempt to match all that up the right height, it would just be very, very, very tedious. I did run these through the wood grain, one of the wood grain timber embossing folder. I believe is what this one is. And for this, I am just going to use my Stampin' Seal. I like to use the Plus, but my little Plus dispenser, this particular roll of refill is not working properly, and I'm having to kind of baby it because they're expensive and I didn't want to just throw it away. I'll show you. It's looped up And no amount of taking it out and trying to wind it in the case back here has worked. And so I've just very carefully get it all lined up. Come on. And I can kind of see where the sticky part ends. And as long as I'm careful, I can get it to roll on there. And that's not how it's supposed to work. I'm just showing you that when there's a will, there's a way. And sorry if I stuck my head in the middle of, excuse me, what I'm doing. Then this little guy is going to look over his shoulder that direction. This little guy is going to be squawking over his head. And I'm going to put them on dimensionals. One dimensional is good, but I think for this guy, he's going to get two. His body is big enough to handle two regular size dimensionals. And I just put one on him, kind of in the middle. And I think I'll put the top seagull on first. That release paper off. I mean, with his mouth open, you can just hear him sitting there. They talk to each other and squawk. They squawk. And then if they get alarmed and they all fly off at the same time, they all squawk. And I can just hear them yelling, "Hey, friend, hey, friend." I've already done some stamping. I stamped it twice because they're seagulls and it wasn't sufficient to just do it once. My strip is real red and it's bigger than I really need. I've stamped the sentiment twice. I'm going to angle the ends. And I'm doing them both that direction. And then I'm going to mount this flat. I've already given it some dimension with everything else that's going on. So you just kind of... And the cool embellishment down here in the corner are the 2024-26 in color rosin dots. And no, they're not Coastal Cabana and Pool Party, but they're Shy Shamrock and let's see what the other one is. Summer Splash. And the Summer Splash is a darker version of the Coastal Cabana. So it worked great. Or you could even go rogue and use one of the yellows or the Shamrock. Definitely not the purpley one. What is the purpley one? Like Petunia Pop. Pop, pop. And I just did two. This was an inspiration card from Melissa Faust. And that's how I get my inspiration. But there are tons of other cards out there. And that's all you have to do. I colored, I was going to tell you the colors. The wings are light and dark smoky slate. The beaks and feet are the dark peach pie. That one's light because I use light on the inside. And then I also have the crumb cake that I use to color the items in here. And I'm not going to sit here and color it. You've seen people color before. This is what it looks like when it's all colored. The finished card and the inside of the finished card. And this looks like a sneaky little seagull giving you a wink. So that's what I had for you today. Remember, this stamp set, let me show you, is free with your $60 order. And my online store, you can find it by going to maryloufoster.stampingup.net. Very easy. My name is Mary Lou Foster. And then the stampingup.net tells the lovely website that you want to go to Stamping Up and shop with me. So that's all I had for you today. That's your friendly seagull. And let me get it so it's not glaring at you. There you go, off to the side. Friendly seagull, hey friends card. See you next time. Bye.